So in this video, I'm going to let you know what you can expect if you're coming over on holiday to Mallorca during April. Now you can see I'm down here on the very beautiful and very lovely Magaluf beach, and the sun is shining today and it's absolutely glorious. But what can you expect if you're coming over to the island for this initial spring holiday period? So first of all, I can say that the resorts are working all out at the moment to get themselves ready for the early Easter that we have this year. You can see on the beaches behind me down here in Magaluf and also over in Palma Nova, you can see that they're getting the umbrellas out on the beaches a little bit early. And there's still no word as to how much sunbed rentals will cost this summer, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you know. Now, weather-wise, what can we expect during the month of April? Well, it should be the start of spring just about everywhere in Europe, and over here on the islands, particularly running through March, I think we have had possibly one of the warmest and sunniest Marches on record, and I'm seeing that roll into April this year as well. I'm seeing very little signs of rain. We may get slightly cloudy days like we do have today. We've got a few clouds in the sky, but I don't see any storms on the horizon. So if you are looking to pack, you're wondering what to pack for your April holiday, and just bring a real mix of clothing with you. Bring warm clothes for the evening, bring clothes for springtime, early summer as well for the day. Now there is a cold wind blowing and it does make it feel quite chilly here for us locals, but if you are coming from Northern Europe, if you're coming over from the UK, I've heard the weather has been absolutely horrendous over there recently, so you're going to love the spring that we're enjoying over here at the moment. It's going to feel like an early summer for you as well, so make sure you bring your swimwear too. I'm down in Magaluf, as you can see, and I've even seen some people go into the sea this morning too, so make sure you bring that swimwear. You may well need it. So the big question I'm getting on not only my YouTube channel but also on the Majorca Under the Sun Facebook group is whether bars and restaurants are going to be open and whether they're going to be busy or not. Well, I can guarantee you that a lot of bars and restaurants will be opening. You may well have seen my video about the opening of the Olive Tree restaurant just last week. If you haven't seen that video, do go ahead and check it out. But you can see that we have a lot of restaurants opening down here in Magaluf. I'm just at the far end of the beach here, and we can see that they have a happy house down here. Lots of really good value meals. Lots of cocktails down here too. Now this is one of the better value places to eat down here in Magaluf. You can come down here, look. You can expect to get a full English breakfast for under €5. But in terms of how busy it will be down here over April and particularly over the Easter holidays, well, it's not July and August yet, so that's the peak season. That's when you find the resorts to be at their absolute busiest. But there will be people over here, and of course there is a high demand for travel at the moment, particularly if you're coming from one of those colder countries in Northern Europe. So don't expect the nightlife to be quite as crazy as you may well find during July and August. Of course, places will be open. We're going to see a lot of the attractions opening down here in Magaluf as well, apart from the water parks as well. It's a little bit early for the water parks to be opened, but during April we're going to see all the other attractions opening up, so there is going to be plenty to do. It's a great time of year to come over to the island as well, because there's plenty of sightseeing to be done, and it's going to be cool enough to do so as well. Now, because of these cooler temperatures, well, you may well wish to get out and about and explore the island a little. Now, we do have a fantastic public transport system on the island, and I do have a video on my channel and an article on my website on MajorcaUnderTheSun.com explaining exactly how you can take the TIB buses, and that's the red and yellow TIB buses which run island-wide. Now, they're really, really simple and cheap to use, so go ahead and check out that video. My website article does include an update as well to the video as well, in that you can now buy your tickets online as well. So that's just another addition if you're looking to get out on the island. Now, I also do have an article on my website all about using the blue EMT buses which travel around Palma area as well, with some suggestions of days out and routes that you can do as well. So please go ahead and check that out too. So if you don't want to take the bus, then you may well want to get yourself a taxi. Now, I had to get a taxi just last weekend, and I was talking to the taxi driver who had great news for me regarding the availability of taxis throughout summer 2023. Now, a lot of the legalities that were in place last year regarding taxi use have now been dropped for this year. So as of the 1st of April, we're going to be seeing a lot more taxis on the road, which is fantastic news. We should avoid seeing so many huge long queues at the taxi rank as well, and I have an article all about how to use the taxis here in Majorca over on my website as well, so go ahead and check that out as well too. So what can you expect in terms of events happening in Majorca over the month of April? Well, as you may well know, Easter is the biggest event on the religious calendar. So it's quite a sight here in Majorca to go and check out some of the Easter processions which will be happening over the towns throughout the island. Now, the most spectacular Easter processions will be taking place in Palma. So after Palm Sunday, we're going to start to see those taking place. And the biggest Easter celebrations you're going to find are down in Palma. Now, they start right after Palm Sunday, and you're going to see a gradual build-up as well until Good Friday, when you're going to see possibly the biggest celebration to take place in the city. Now, you're going to find some other little events and fairs taking place throughout the island throughout the month of April, and one of the second biggest that I do know of is the Feria de Nautica, which happens up in Alcudia, right down at the port on the Paseo Maritimo. Now, I can't find a fixed date for that this year, because last year it did happen on April the 10th, but of course that is going to clash with Easter Sunday this year. So it's probably going to take place on the weekends following Easter. When I get a date, I will let you know, but I mean, that's just a great event, loads of market stalls, loads of food, and it's a great atmosphere as well. So definitely worth checking out if you're staying on the northeast side of the island. Okay, so we're going to leave behind this very beautiful Magaluf beach for now. I'm going to jump in my car and we're going to head down over to Palma City, and I'm going to let you know what's happening over in the Old Town. Now, I'm down here in Parc de Mallorca today, just in front of the cathedral, for a reason, because over the past few months we've had some really major renovations down here in Palma, but I'm really happy to say that the renovations down here in Parc de Mallorca, right in front of the cathedral, have been largely completed. Now, there are a few barriers up. You can see that there are a few bulldozers as well hanging around, but these should be cleared away soon. But it's great to see now that as spring comes along, we have Parc de Mallorca looking back to how it should look and ready to welcome visitors as well. Now, it's great that the works here have largely finished down here in Parc de Mallorca, so I'm just going to come down the steps here and show you probably the best cafe to sit in if you want to enjoy views of the cathedral if you're visiting the island this Easter. Now, I'm right in front of the Guinness house here. It's a great place to get a few drinks. You can see it's really busy. If I turn around here, these are the views that you'll get to enjoy if you're coming over here to explore the city. Now, if you are coming down here to visit Parc de Mallorca, you may well be treated to some wonderful live music and entertainment. There are also various market stalls down here too. Some of them are a little bit more legal than others. You do find some legal street sellers out here, and you also do find some illegal street sellers too. But right next to the cathedral and the Palacio de Almudena, you're going to find that this is the main stop here for the Palma City Sightseeing bus. Now, I do sell tickets for the Palma City Sightseeing bus on my website, and I'll put a link to that in the description text below this video. But if you are looking at sightseeing all over the city this Easter, then I really do recommend getting tickets for this bus. It will fast track you all around to the very, very best sites. And you can hop on and off this bus as many times as you like. Okay, so from the Palma City sightseeing bus, we're going to head up in front of the cathedral and go and get some views of Parc de Mar. Now you can see around the cathedral here we do have mainly palm trees, however we have got a couple of pine trees just here. Okay, so one other thing to bear in mind if you're coming over here this Easter is that the trees have just started pollinating, so that'll be the pine trees. Now, a lot of the resorts do have a lot of pine trees in them, so if you take a look at Porto Poyensa or down in Santa Ponsa, you're going to find a lot of pine trees, particularly down towards the beach and also along the pine walk in Porto Poyensa. So if you are susceptible to pine pollen or any kinds of pollen, make sure that you do bring some antihistamines with you. You can get them in the pharmacy over here. It's a little bit late this year, so unfortunately due to Easter being early, we're still seeing a lot of pine pollen around. Okay everyone, that's just a short Easter update for you. Now I do have one final warning to put out, and this is for just about everyone else, even if you're not travelling over the Easter holidays. I did mention it in my last travel update video. If you are from the UK, go and check your passport. Make sure it does not need renewing. If it does need renewing, then get it in as soon as possible, because I've also heard about the possible passport strikes that are going to be taking place if a pay deal cannot be reached. Well, I'm hoping that pay deal can be reached because they're looking at striking for several weeks. So if you are hoping to come out here over the summer months, then really you need to get that passport in for renewal now if that passport does need renewing, or you could end up missing out on your holiday altogether, and that would just be absolutely awful. Okay everyone, thank you very much for watching. If you are travelling over this Easter, please travel safe, enjoy your trip, and most of all have a fantastic holiday. If you want to find out other cool things to do in Majorca while you're over here on holiday, then check out the videos appearing just here and just here. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.